wonder what life after death is like. And so people have wondered that for generations, for thousands of years. I don't know about 1,000. Well, maybe. Well, they've wondered it for a long time. So, what is life after life like? And when you think about that, it's hard to say like it's any one thing. It matters who you are, how much money you have, the kinds of beliefs that you accumulate during your time. But life after death is almost a misnomer. So you have life, and then you die, now you don't have life. So you ask, well, then what's life after death like? It's almost like, you're repeating yourself because you don't want to die. And that's cool. Because if you want to die, that's not cool. So life, though, after birth. Now that's interesting. So if I was to say, what do you think life after birth is like? You'd probably say, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know, life after birth. It's life. And what if I was to answer the same way, though, about death? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. It's death. But death, it's like, is death the thing over there, or is that just what happens to life? People that try to explain the unexplained, and without doing a lot of research, without having a lot of education, going to college, without, people talk about things and they're not necessarily experts, is what I'm saying. And I'm not purporting to be one. I'm not an expert, and especially about life after death, because, well, I haven't done it that many times. So what was it like for you before you were born? It's like, wait a minute, I'm going to try to remember. Let me think way back. Like the first time I did this, or the first time I did that. Now, wait a minute. I want to remember what life was like before I had it. All right, no, that's a misnomer too. I want to know what I was doing, what I was, maybe not what I was doing, because maybe, if you're not anything, then you're not doing anything either. But anyhow, so you're not born yet. You're not born yet. So what were you doing? So you weren't doing anything, not you. Because before you were born, you weren't in the same shape, you didn't have the same size, you didn't have the same condition, you didn't, have the same teachers, you didn't go to the same high school. Before you were born, you went to the high school that people go to, before they're born. It's the before you're born high school. But the thing is, it's like, was I maybe a one-celled creature? Did I divide and become a two-celled creature? No, I wouldn't be a two-celled creature. If a one-celled creature divides, then there are two one-celled creatures. If a cell divides, and then the other cells divide, and they keep dividing, it doesn't necessarily mean that they accumulate more cells within themselves. Wouldn't that just mean that there's a lot of one-celled creatures running around? I just figured it out. I'm one of the one-celled creatures from the division process. And it's like, I don't know, it's like, have you ever thought about, like, who were your parents before you were born? Who were your parents before you were born? Who were they? Oh my God. they were the same parents. They were the same parents that you have now after you were born. Oh my God. Just go to YouTube, Joey G and Greco. Go to YouTube and then go to Joey G and Greco. And I will enlighten you. Oh. So, how many surrealists do you believe it takes to understand an existential life? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go look up surrealism and, and existential, and then I will get back to you. How many Republicans does it take to make a Democrat? Yeah. All right. How many Democrats does it take to make a Republican? And the answer is actually, I do have this answer. Like, I don't have a lot of answers, but I do know. It takes one. Of course, you have to, torture him. Oh, and, oh yeah, I no, it's, I really want to know this. I'm just going to put out there, like, why is it that there's such a thing as, like, there was a time when women didn't vote? I mean, what time was that? I mean, why wouldn't, what's the thing about women? There was a time that only men voted. Oh, wait a minute. There was also a time when only certain men voted. I see. Then there was a time that women were like certain men that didn't vote. Oh. Well, you see that. Then it's true. Women can be like men. I mean, a woman is as good as a man. There's no doubt about it. But you see, like, in some ways, is it true, like, if I were to say to myself that a woman is equal to a man, it's like, like, so what? Is that something to gauge your equality on? Anyway, women can vote now. And so they don't have to listen to this. They don't have to listen to that. They don't have to listen to nothing. What women probably have to do is, ask themselves, if it took so long for men to understand that they had a right to vote, that women had a right to vote, it may be a good idea to always kind of be wary about what men are saying. There's really nothing wrong in that. And women can vote now and have been able to for a while now. The question is, does that mean that a woman should vote like a man simply because now men are allowing them to vote like men? So a woman voting like a woman would vote is really what the world needs anyway. Men have been for a long time some men, I mean, in other past generations, like dad, granddad's, great-granddad's generation, have been saying that the better half of the relationship was the woman. It really is kind of up to women to start moving forward, maybe even toward, a faith in God, definitely. I think so, but more a faith in the Heavenly Mother. Because I've been noticing, like, Heavenly Father is just everywhere. From Allah to Jehovah to on and on and on, except for, the gods, like Zeus and Hera. They knew each other, But very often, religions that are status quo offer up a male entity, or something like a male entity, as like a Heavenly Father, and there's no mother there. It's like gay. Why wouldn't there always be two of them? But then again, since it has not always been that way, maybe it's not gay. Maybe it is that there needs to be one or the other, which leads, and the other follows, but not timidly, but as a mate. Maybe the whole idea of a Heavenly Mother makes a lot of sense. And maybe we need a time to believe in a Heavenly Mother the way a Heavenly Father used to be believed in. Like, when there was a Heavenly Father, somebody may ask, like, so who's the Heavenly Mother then? So maybe we need a time where we believe in a Heavenly Mother, and maybe we'll have to ask something like, well, then who's the Heavenly Father? Well, this is Joey Greco, and this has been Confused but Not Confounded. Thank you.